Right, Lorraine, your guitar, let's have a look at it. I've had a bit of a glimpse with it. There are a few issues with this guitar that don't make me too happy. I mean, don't be don't be too downhearted there. I would say, looking at this, the bridge, I don't know what you can see from there, is not flat, it's leaning that way. Now that happens normally when we get a bit of swell on the belly, what we call the belly here. This guitar's got a little bit of belly bulge, so we can fix that and we can get that back. The reason this happens is it's probably been storage. Now that doesn't concern me at all. I can sort that out quite easily. What concerns me more is this area here on the guitar. This looks like the top here is coming away from the sides, and that is all down to this little bulge we've got in the belly here. And again, it looks like it's compressed in this area and it's pulling away from the side of the body. Now again, I can have a go at fixing that, but what I can't do is I'm not going to open that up and get some glue in it, which is what you think you'd ought to do, because you can't do that because you're going to cause cracks. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cover this with damp rag, probably tea towel or something, a couple of layers of damp rag, and I'm going to get a red hot iron on there and I'm going to steam it, and I'm going to hope that the steam is going to reactivate the glue and it's going to glue that joint back together, because that could be problematical in the future. Now, concerning this bridge and the way, the reason your action's so high is this bridge is not flat, it's leaning that way, it's pulled up because of the swell in this belly. Now I can get that out, a couple of ways to get that out. The easiest way and the best way, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a damp cloth and I'm going to place it inside the guitar, in this hole, the sound hole. I'm going to go in the sound hole, I'm going to stick it on something like a takeaway pot lid so it doesn't soak into the guitar. I'm going to put a damp cloth in there, and what we're going to do is I'm going to seal this hole with some tape, some paper, whatever. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave it 2 or 3 days. And I'm going to put a weight on this part of the belly. What's going to happen there is the moisture from the tea towel is going to go into this part and going to go into the whole body of the guitar. And the weight on top is going to flatten this. Flattening that is going to pull this bridge, or the saddle, it's going to pull it back to its original position. Obviously I'm going to take the strings off. We're going to give that a couple of days and see how it goes. I'm also going to remove the saddle, because we've got, like you say, the action is really, really high. It is very, very high there. Now the reason that was because the neck needed straightening, the neck wasn't straight. I've straightened the neck by tightening the truss rod, but another way we can bring the height down is I'm going to remove this saddle and I'm going to shave 2mm off the bottom. If I shave 2mm off the bottom of that saddle, it's going to bring the action down here 1.5mm at least. It's going to bring the action down low enough, so we're going to have a nice low action. And so I'm going to do that. Also, if we still can't get the action down low enough, I'm going to get the saddle and I'm going to file and sand some wood off the top. It means I can take, instead of taking 2mm off this saddle, I can take 3mm off the saddle. So when all's said and done, it might not seem like the guitar's worth doing to someone else, but to me it's so worth doing, because I can fix the problem. Probably not the news you wanted to hear. Maybe you wanted to hear, oh no, it's not worth doing, go and buy yourself a new guitar and blah 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 blah. Now you see, you could also do that. It's going to be a lot of work on this, but it's not going to be that long-winded. It's not going to be an expensive job, because it's not going to need, like I say, it's not going to need man hours. It's just going to need to be set, and it's going to need to be left alone. I'd imagine there's probably, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 hours work in this guitar. Now I've already told you what I would charge. I always knock 40% off for the church. It's the way I've always done it. Julian Aaron and John will show you, so I'll let you know about that. So it's not going to be an expensive job anyway. You know, so I don't know when I'm going to do the work. I'll not be doing anything on it today. I've got a busy day today. I've got a lot of guitars in. We've got live group tonight, obviously. I'll put Robert and Margaret's up there. But what I will do today is I'll try and find a spot for it, and I'll get some, try and get this belly swollen belly out, and we'll try and get this top glued back in, and we're going to take it from there. Now further to that work, the guitar does need a setup. The neck is going to need oiling. and we're going to get the frets all polished up, make sure the frets are all level in there. Not a bad guitar. Another problem I had with this guitar, by the way, is you'll probably not be interested in this. These are what we call a neck level checker, and what we do is we place this side down, we place it on the neck of the guitar, and it tells us if the neck's straight or not. Now, the other thing about your guitar is I've got 4 of these, giving me 7 different sizes: 25 inch, 24.5 inch. It's all to do with scale length. I don't have one for the size neck on your guitar because it is the weirdest scale length. I've never come across this before. It's 25.25 inches. So this doesn't fit on your neck. So I've had to check it straight by eye, which I can do. But what I can do is, and what I've decided to do, I've got 2 25-inch ones. So by filing off these corners, I can make this fit on your neck, and then I will have a 25.25 inch. So I'm going to do that, and then I can place this basically on your neck of your guitar and check that it's exactly straight. You know, it doesn't actually work at the moment because the scale length's not right. I'm not expecting you to grasp or understand that. It's guitar techno speak. But what I really need to be able to do that to make sure I get the neck dead straight when I put the guitar all back together. One more thing. The reason you've got belly swell here, it happens on guitars. But the longer you've had a guitar, the more likely it is to happen. And it happens because of the way the guitar is stored. Not that you're doing anything wrong, but it's just chances are it's dried out somewhere, it's pulled. The tightness of your strings, these are quite tight, heavy strings. In your case, because you want a lower action, because you've got small hands, I would highly recommend going with a lighter gauge string. These are gauge 1254, I believe, something like that. They're fat strings, and you have to tighten them a lot more than you do a light string, meaning that the actual pull on this saddle, on this bridge, is going to be a lot higher. You're talking 70 kilograms pull on this way when you tighten all the strings up, whereas if you get a lighter set, you're going to have 50, 60 kilograms. So I would recommend to you go with a lighter string. You go with a 1048 gauge, or maybe even a 940 48 if we can find one that thin. It means your strings are thinner, means you're going to have less pull on that bridge, and it's not going to stop it pulling up. This is something that happens over time. You can avoid it by storing your guitar the correct way, but not everyone knows about things like that. So I think the guitar's worth doing. It's most definitely worth me doing it for you, because you're going to get a lot cheaper than if you'd have took it to someone else. They're going to say, oh, but they're going to be charging you £100 or something daft, or it may be even more. I'm not going to charge you for a setup, and I'm not charging you full whack for the fix. So we've already talked about that. You know where we are regarding that. I'm going to send you a message with this video, and we could take it from there. But all in all, it's quite a nice guitar. I like vintage guitars. I've had a few of them, mainly electric ones over the years. They make good guitars. I know all about the company. I'm actually owned by JHS, which is John Horn Skews. I've known of that company for 35, 40 years. Good company, good guitars. So maybe not what you want to hear. Maybe you want to hear, no, it's a load of rubbish, go and buy a new one. God says you can have a new one, go and get one. In fact, you can have what you want. The Lord says you can have a new one if you want one. Don't mind what Steve says. God says he'll take care of him. So that's it. It's where we are with this guitar. I'll blob on with the work when I've got a chance, and I'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.